recording. Good evening, everyone. It's December 3, 2013, and I'm Elmer Soriano for Bangon Lab, and we're joined tonight by Geoffrey Balse. He is incoming Assistant Secretary for the Association of Good Government based in Sydney. He used to be based in the Philippines as a stockbroker and then a development professional. And tonight he'll be sharing with us a concept of reconstruction bonds. And we invited him to share his thoughts on a possible financing mechanism for post-Yolanda rehabilitation. Taps, thanks for joining us.
Okay, thank you also, Elmer, and it's a pleasure to be on board. Uh, I have two objectives basically in using bonds. One is anticipation of donor fatigue, which usually happens, and second, how do we rapidly recover in that area in both the public and private sector. Because the current situation, slide two, right? Capital infrastructure building replacing, there's no employment or livelihood opportunities, land values are practically nil, and I told you about the objectives. Now, the the framework I'm using is basically what financed the Sydney Harbour Bridge during the Great Depression. Uh, it wasn't tolls, which is what the current privatization models use to try to recover their capital expenditure. But it was recovering, getting its share of land value of both banks of the Hawkesbury River that where 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 the bridge was built over. Uh, the north side of Sydney was eventually connected to the central business district, and so the north of Sydney, real estate values shot up, and when it did shoot up, the government got its share of the real estate value and used it to repay the loan without any snag. So it's a model that seems to have been forgotten, and it's based on George's principles. I'll go to now slide number 4. That makes it different from a left-wing uh, model where people try to, where the government will expose the taxes from the individual's land values, wages, and interest. Uh, the right, however, tries to do the opposite thing, leaves more to individuals and less to government. And the centrists try to negotiate between the two, but think in terms of trading off efficiency versus equity. Now, that's slide number 5. We go to slide number 7, and the Georges view. What the Georges believe is we can generate the fiscal resources needed for government purely from economic rent or the land value uh, on which people live and work. And how do we apply that to number 7? Slide number 8. This is the usual graphical snapshot of how bonds work. We're going to mobilize financial resources from bond receipts for the purposes I cited in year 0 to 5, and where the question is,
Hmm.
reconstruction purely. So a bond float makes a lot of sense, but the bond float that will support a Georgist framework, the number 9, it would mean the government will cease the collection of all taxes based on income, consumption, and transaction. A second is to help bolster the economy, the Visayas Eastern coastal ports will become free ports. And also, strategic plans that contain strict land use compliance and enforcement has to be along with it, has to be accompanied in these plans. And it should discourage land speculation. If anyone will be buying land for the purpose of speculation and leaving it idle, that's when they'll be charged idle land tax based on the area's most productive use. And second also is an enforcement that there will be no trespassing, squatting, especially on common public land. Once the public lands or common lands have been identified. If the government is really serious in keeping common land that's 16 kilometers from the shoreline, then it has to follow that strictly. Slide 10 will show how how the cash flow works. Bond financing will come in from year 5. You see the blue line above as the bond finances economic activities from infrastructure development to housing and cooperative utilities and livelihood. Land values will naturally rise, but because they're not going to be collecting any taxes in year 5, and the areas will be living on the proceeds of the bond, that will be fine. Come year 5, after year 5, that's when land values, recovered land values, will will be the basis for collecting land value taxes. The government will get its share, but also derive from it the proceeds to pay for the bond, which is, you can see it, the, the quadrilateral after year 5. The gold outline shows how much government can collect in terms of revenue. The gold bar would show the repayment amount. And you can see from the dotted triangle, the the bond financing can actually pay for the principal the next 5 years once the repayment starts. But that's not enough. So that's a that's an estimate. So let's go to slide number 11. We see a cash flow graph that shows that this is how eventually cooperative enterprises can pay off proceeds from the loan and it borrows from the pool of funds. Slide number 12 will show how cooperative utilities can practically pay for itself when electricity and water charges are imputed in the capital build-up, so that the debts can be converted to equity, and when when assets, particularly land owned by the co-utilities, appreciate, it also builds up their capital. Slide number 13 will also show how mortgages can be repaid when it's imputed into the land value taxes paid to the government. Since it's in the first 5 years after the reconstruction, and because no taxes will be collected, you have households being able to save, and so the first repayments and the payments of land values and repayments on their own will not be that burdensome. Slide number 14 will show the financing requirements. There has to be a strategic plan and perspective. I mentioned it before, comprehensive land use plan, infrastructure and basic services plan, and cooperative ventures in finance and livelihood. So the bond float should have a guarantee by the Philippine government. Hope, could could be underwritten by the International Finance Corporation and uh, Asian Finance and Investment Corporation, investment arm the banking arm of the World Bank and ADB. Uh, Global NGOs can co-guarantee to the Philippine government if they wish. And there will be an international roadshow by the United Nations, World Bank, and ADB. Slide 15 will also show prospective terms and conditions. In the bond, payments will be due until year 5. Interest rates can be multi-tiered based on the tenor and type of funding. That is livelihood versus asset reconstruction. Repayments of the livelihoods can be amortized on a gradual accelerating basis over 5 years. That can be a separate facility because the proceeds from the bond can generate a pool of funds from which livelihoods can borrow. And grace periods for principal may also be provided for to make it easier. But since this is really just a buffer, uh, livelihood projects will have also a grace period of not paying any taxes at all until year 6. Slide 16 will show a certain complex use of the debt. So you can see that the reconstruction bond in step 1 will be swapped for Philippine sovereign debt. Let's say if the reconstruction bond is placed at $7 billion, it will be swapped for twice the amount of Philippine sovereign debt. So the issuers of the bond can turn around and tell the government of the Philippines, the Bangko Sentral Luzon, okay, we bought your debt of 14 billion. Now you can retire it on the condition that you generate a fund for $7 billion in pesos. In this case, will be 350 billion pesos. So the pesos fund the programs and projects. Number 3, the reconstruction programs and projects repay the bondholder. The banks, the international credit sources that hold the bonds can sell it to the international emissions trading markets for carbon credits for the full amount of the sovereign debt paper, and so everybody wins. Carbon credits have a use. The banks don't lose any opportunity cost either because it's fully repaid by the carbon credits, and the carbon credits are monetized by the reconstruction bonds. The former holders or the institutions that have these carbon credits will be able to monetize what they swap with. So cash flow management is quite the political bit because we don't want any money going through politicians at all. All funds should go straight from banks to strictly programmed mobilization of project resources to other bank accounts. Government set up escrow and garnishing accounts to which land values collected will be deposited. And politicians will be concerned mainly with the job they were placed in their position to do, to serve and to govern. So, I hope that was clear enough. I'm open to any questions. You there?
So, perhaps, what would be the practical next Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, the practical next steps really is
What would be the next 2 or 3 steps? Yeah.
first is really to get the following stakeholders involved: national government,
So what?
the local government, and the international financial institutions that I mentioned, particularly the World Bank and the ADB, and almost forgot, the United Nations
Oh,
that can conduct this roadshow.
uh-huh. Okay. Well, what the role be of CSOs or NGOs?
NGOs should be to support it, to actually start developing prospectus for livelihood projects. That will be the private sector component. Uh, uh, I understand that a lot of credit co-ops, for instance, were badly affected, some losing their total asset values. They can provide the financial infrastructure for this, help identify the livelihood programs that can get the community back on its feet, not just immediately, but also in the long run. So they can concentrate on the first year to I mean to live on food crops that they can also immediately use to generate income. Year three, they can start living off of cash crops like pineapple that have a little longer gestation, and if they want to go back to coconut, they can start harvesting on year five and start paying the proceeds of the bond. So those would be the roles of NGOs in community organizations.
Okay. Okay. Okay, sige. Thank you very much, Taps Balse, for that presentation. Then we'll try to set up another deeper discussion after we've circulated this video again. Thanks very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you also.
Bye. Thanks. Good night.
Bye. No worries.